It all begins with love, 1892. When I discovered my thesis and I read that sentence at the beginning of the history of shell theory, I was absolutely floored. Up until that point, I'd been working on the basis of love rules, do the work, choose. And what that meant to me at the time was about at the base level I had discovered that the speed of light was not constant and was variable dependent on that factor, which was defining quality as best I could at the time. When I read that sentence, it all begins with love 1892. It absolutely floored me. And then everything fell into place. And finally then Dr. Levy. And Dr. Levy is the door that's been sealed. So Dr. Levy, 1915, a physics paper presented to engineering. I have a copy of the translation in my Dropbox that links directly to the PCA document, which has coefficient tables which are not referenced and not told how they're calculated. It talks about a theory that has stood for half a century. That theory is Dr. Levy's theory, and I link it directly. And I want that reference returned, please. I go back to Love, 1892, and I looked him up just yesterday. Isn't there someone who knows so much about, understood this, hasn't gone back to see who is Love? And I thought he may even be Loewe. I thought he was German, perhaps. No, he's Arnold Love from Weston-super-Mare, a town I can see when I stand on the mountain by my village. A British guy. And what he was interested in was how the planet stays in place. The elastic properties of the planet are the question that's been posed since we understood something about engineering and the cosmos. From Galileo's problem about a beam and when a beam breaks, why does it break? Why does it break there? What are the elastic properties of that beam? And the Euler considers the idea of a beam made of particles, a particle-thin beam, such that mass becomes irrelevant, and what is left of the loading. And this is the problem that's been posed. And so Arnold Love was interested in how the planet stays together, elastic properties. And there are things called love waves and love numbers, which define the elastic properties of the planet based on its tidal pattern. So that if you imagine the planet as a sphere and that it's got tides on it, he's saying it's the tides that are the elastic properties of the planet. It's the motion of the tides that is the motion that has the elastic property that stops the planet expanding into nothing, stops entropy. So the planet should break. We know there's expansive forces. We can see them in the redshift. But why doesn't entropy act? What is Maxwell's demon that stops entropy expansion happening? It's the elastic properties. And so he's defining that in the tide. He says it's the tides, which makes sense. If you think about meters per second squared and gravity, that's describing momentum. Water has momentum, doesn't it? If you stop the planet, the water would continue round slowly. The water wouldn't stop. There'd be floods and everything, wouldn't there? So that's Love, 1892. In 1915, Dr. Levy's paper solves the problem. So Love is an engineer trying to use theoretical physics and introduce it into engineering. Can he use this idea of the beam that doesn't break in understanding how structures hold together to make things safer, make buildings safer, and to build things economically and efficiently using the load? Levy's idea is the key. He does something different. He takes a water tank and introduces water as the load. So that if you assume a cylinder of water, circle, cylinder, and that's water in a tank, and remove the tank and assume the water is staying there. Just assume that that's the case. Look at the sides, the loading, and you'll see it'll take on a shape. So at the moment before collapse, tank of water in a tank, remove tank, it will collapse. But the moment before collapse, assuming you could remove that tank from one moment to the next, what shape would the water take? And that's the analysis that he does, and it solves the problem. Matrix calculus is the answer, and it's E equals mc squared. Links directly to it. So Lave is the key. Lave closes the door. 1942 PCA tables, coefficients directly linking, Manhattan Project, nuclear energy, nuclear power, parapsychology, links through to the Zionists in Israel right now, and the world changes. Hello, my friends. And that's what happens. The world's about to change.
Alright.
Yeah, man.
What are you talking to?
I'm talking to myself. Oh, and I'm talking to you, my friends. Talking to you too. So the world's about to change. That's it. It all begins with love, and it all ends with love. Love waves, love numbers, love rules. Do the work. Choose. See you later.